We're not that crazy, but yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks for reminding me. Appreciate it. What we're going to be talking about is the brand activation, and what that essentially is, it's not just marketing. It is increasing awareness and engagement through creating an encounter or a positive interaction. And that's what the goal is with the marketing. We're trying to get away from just the straight emails with words on the page and make it more engaging, more alluring, and more robust for you all. Some of the goals of brand activation are to move members to act, which is for you to sign up for classes. It's also to add value to your classes as well as to the member who is taking the class. It's also to assist in forming stronger connections, which we know is very important to sustain and to grow within the associations. Because of the number of classes has increased so substantially each year, it can be quite the task to send out the individual marketing message. So what we thought of is we would try to do a more encompassing approach, a much more robust approach towards it, cast a wider net as well, where we are using different formats to hit the members and not overwhelm their email. Because from what I understand, of course, we're not the only ones sending messages from Texas Realtors. You've got TreePack, you've got GA sending things, and just a lot of different messages coming in. So we don't want to overwhelm your members, but we want them to be informed. So some of the ways that we are going to try to diversify our marketing efforts is to include an instructor showcase for you guys to, as I heard you mention, for you guys to be able to be more informed as to the instructor that you're choosing. We're going to be utilizing our Facebook page, our education Facebook page, and giving you all access to that so that you can drive members there. They can find out information about the classes. We're also going to be creating playlists. And what a playlist is going to be is essentially a video on, for example, CART. It's going to be a video on, what were some of the other playlists, John, that we were contemplating?
Some of them are course administration.
Fast Pass.
We have a lot of questions that are very similar from one another, and so the goal is to create little short snippets and vignettes you guys can watch for 30 seconds to know what it is, so that way you don't feel like you have to ask us. So you're welcome to ask, we'll be happy to tell you, but this might give if you're trying to train somebody else in your association, this will be a way that you can also share this with them.
Thank you, thank you. And we're also going to be introducing what we call our a bulletin, which is going to be the Education Insider. And that is going to be strictly for the education decision makers at the association. Updates on classes, updates on instructors, any pertinent information that you all need, as opposed to the random email coming in from me and or John or Gregory. We're going to try to centralize that information and provide it to you in one neat little package. So that we're going to be rolling out by July 1st. In addition to that, we're also trying to create a new, fresh look. And so, are you looking at the flyers? We're creating a cohesive look for our programs that you all can then be empowered to disseminate to your members, that has a great look and feel to it. So the packet that's on your desk now, or on the counter now, has all of our programs, which is TRLP, TRPM, TRLS, TAHS, as well as the GRI and the NAR certification designation flyer. And of course for Amy, we've got the cruise flyer. So all of these things we're trying to make more cohesive, have a new look, fresh feel to it. All of these will be available on the website. so that you can just go to one location to download if you need to print these off, if you're offering any of these classes, and it's got a good look to it, and hopefully a good feel. Yes?
Will we be able to co-brand with you and put
Yes,
our,
you will,
yeah,
absolutely, yes. Also, someone mentioned the registration forms. Those have been completely remodified, I guess you could say. It is no longer just a PDF with those very challenging edit fields. It's a PDF that has been placed in a Word document, so now you can just type the information directly onto the registration form. You don't have to create any fields or anything like that. Those also will be available on the website as well. I think it's the resource page. Was that the resource page, John? Okay, at the resource page. And in addition to that, we have just the new look of the logos that are available. This is the old, the former. Here are the new ones. A lot sleeker. They are more in line with the Texas Realtor logo that we have now. And we'll also have these available for you. There shouldn't be really a need unless you give us a call for some reason, but because we're going to provide you with all the information that you need as far as flyers and information. Yes?
Since the GRI pins are the old logo, can we get a discount?
That is a discount.
Well, you see my eyes go to John.
You're already
He pointed out to me.
And those are, you know, the new GRI pins are available if you'd like them. We want you definitely to try to use those as much as possible. But, you know, it's just it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to get feedback from you all to see what's working and see how we can empower you all to communicate better with your members, because you're the front line. We can only respond to what we know, and more than happy to hear feedback as to what might be working for you in your marketing efforts, what isn't working, or what you'd like to see, because I'm all ears for how to improve to help you all. So if anyone has any suggestions that are working for them, or that they'd like to offer, or something that you see that isn't working, I'm willing to hear it out.
Are these logos available now?
Yes, those are already on the website as of right now, and they can be downloaded and used. Yes. Yes.
Your location again, better resources?
Amy, where did we end up putting those?
In the AE resources part of the website. So in that top toolbar bit where it says for AEs.
And that's where all of your marketing information is going to go, so it's just in one centralized place. Correct. And the first Education Insider will contain all of this information. It will have the links to anything that's been in the PowerPoint, so you can easily access everything. And that's going to be, like I said, coming out by July 1. So you'll have a summation of everything that's going on here today. And John, I saw your hand.
I just had a question.
Yeah.
When it comes to logos that you were referencing, what kind of file formats do you have?
File format?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't.
I think it's JPEG.
Oh, it's JPEG. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm distracted today. Yes, it is going to be a JPEG.
If you need another file format, it depends on what you're trying to use it for, as to what kind of formats there are. If you have one or need one that is not up there, please let us know. We have them all.
Yeah.
They just take up a lot of space, and so we can easily get you whatever you need. There's like vector ETS, yeah, there's a ton. And so we try to give you one that's the most common denominator. Please don't try and set a square peg in a round hole. If it's not what you need, please let us know. We'll get you the right one.
Yeah, we've got feedback for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are the flyers going to be in landscape too?
Yes.
So you've got them.
Yes. Yes. Well, you'll be able to use them in both. Any other questions? Okay. All right, I'm going to actually pass the next section on to John for the GRI initiative.
GRI initiatives?
Yes, new initiatives. I apologize. I am going to have to leave. My sister is having her 4th brain surgery today, and unexpected. She just had her last one on Friday, so I do apologize that I have to cut out so quickly. But John was gracious enough to take over for me, and I thank everyone for coming. And it's just been a pleasure. And they're going to take care of you and keep giving out all the gifts and everything. So thank you guys.
So one thing we talked about with the GRI initiatives was this idea of, we always talk about course processing and administration. What we want to move to is the value of the GRI. Because for years, I'll never forget when I first started working at Texas Realtors, before it was Texas Realtors, it was TAR. Way back when. I'll never forget that we actually sent out designation packets, and in the designation packets, we had steps to get your CRS. We have nothing to do with CRS whatsoever. Why were we telling people to do this? Because at the time, the mantra was the GRI is the stepping stone to get to the next designation, like CRS or whatever it might be. I don't know about you. I don't want to be a stepping stone. I'm not a fan of that. The GRI in and of itself has its own value and benefit. So we've been doing some research and finding some information about the GRI, and interestingly enough, that yes, we have over 10,000 of them in the industry right now. Ironically, they actually cover every market, every niche of any capacity across the board. So how do you take something like that and bring value to it so that they know it's a benefit to them regardless of where they go as far as their real estate career takes them? And so we wanted to open the floor to you guys and say, how do you guys come with the GRI? Because we fully recognize we're in a bubble, we don't know. And so we want to ask you, like, is there anything that you guys do that we're like, hey, this really makes sense, this is the way that we're promoting the value, or this is the way that we want to, we just haven't had the opportunity yet, whatever it might be. Do you guys have anything that you normally do? Laura?
I just tell the new agents, during their orientation, that the quickest and easiest way for them to get their SAE taken care of, and that the first agent that took it through our association is in the top 10 in her first 3 years.
Wow.
As far as statistically speaking, is in the top 10. She also did GRO.
That's great. So new orientation is a great opportunity.
As well as when talking about their Realtor.com profile, because that's where they really get segmented into smaller groups, and the masses is when they start collecting some of those certifications. Be able to use that as a marketing tool on a higher level.
That's good. Moji.
So I presented during orientation, but I also presented during their basic matrix class. And then for us, we give them their options as to their SAE offerings, so we don't want to limit anyone, especially if they have different learning styles. But the way that we kind of promote the GRI, and we've had really good enrollment in the program, it's just to focus on the instructors, the live interaction, the Q&A, the camaraderie they make with other agents going through the same class with them. But really pushing our instructors, because, like you guys, we have some really great instructors with that wealth of knowledge, and being able to have someone live there where they can answer questions, I think is so invaluable, and they appreciate that versus still trying to figure things out, especially if they're going through a module or, feeling feel rushed at other places. So that's kind of how we sell it to them.
It's a great insight. Thank you, Moji. Mike.
So we mostly promote it towards our new members. In fact, all of our promotions go to new members. As SAE, and we fill up, we're about 50 to 60 a class, right? A month. The problem we have is we now have nothing to really show towards those who've been in the business for a while. So what's the next step beyond this current GRI? Is there going to be a more advanced? That's something that we could say, now you've been in the business, what could have you be even more successful? Anything coming?
Maybe. That's a good insight, Mike.
I might have stepped too far.
Roxy.
Well, I know at the Professional Development Committee meeting in DC, that they were talking about on the national level,
the advanced GRI or whatever. So I don't know how that's gonna come about, but I know NAR is looking at putting that out there as well.
Interesting.
So is
I'm
that
just
gonna-
listening.
Would that be on the national level if they're
Well, I
talking
mean,
about
the
governing
GRI
it?
always comes back locally, but that is something that everybody was interested in, and that's one of the things they're gonna focus on. They're gonna be talking about it again in November, so I know that they're thinking of it.
So interesting is that the GRI is the only designation out there that doesn't require something else once they get it. Once they're done, they're done. No renting or leasing of any capacity, no additional education, which I think is far more important than renting or leasing. And so they don't have anything to my knowledge at this time. So I'm glad to hear that they're looking at something like that. We have dabbled with the idea for a couple of years of a couple of different things, but I want to get your input before I say anything. So anybody else? Anything else?
The hardest sell for me when it's coming to ones that are already in it is it's 90 hours, it's expensive, and it's way more than they need for their regular CD. And so, yes.
So what I did, I tell people to take Realtor Launch first, which is the new agent kind of onboarding.
Yes.
And then take 2 of the GRIs in your first renewal, and then take your last GRIs they're gonna take in the next renewal period, so they get 10 hours to see.
Okay. And is Realtor Launch available yet by broadcast? Cause it's only Houston right now, right?
There's some others.
There are some others, and we have some instructors that are trying to work it out for via broadcast as well.
Oh, good, yeah.
And to your point, interestingly enough, and I think somebody said something about the brokerage at one point in time. So just so you guys know, this is a lot of detailed information, but I'll try and keep it high level if I can. The Real Estate Commission has various approvals out there for the different SAE courses. The real estate brokerage class is actually approved as real estate brokerage. The other two are considered advanced courses, which means they don't actually follow the marketing contracts like the marketing contracts are expected to follow according to the Real Estate Commission rules and guidelines for the class. The real estate brokerage, we did that for a reason, because those who are trying to apply for a broker's license have to take one that is approved for real estate brokerage. So, to your point, Rita, instead of people actually getting their entire GRI within 2 years, it is quite possible they could actually get 2 of the 3 and then wait till 2 years before they would apply for the broker's license, and they could take that one. In addition to that, just FYI, if somebody does have their GRI and they want to come back and take a GRI at a later time, we do offer a reduced rate. You need to tell us that they're there as a GRI designee, because I'm assuming that you're also reducing their rate as well by $50. And so if they're trying to get their SAE credit, they're trying to apply for the broker's license with the real estate brokerage class, they're trying to add up their hours to get to 970 and they want to come back and take the GRI, we do decrease their fee by $50. We don't charge $100 because they already have the designation. We just got to cover the book and the education processing. So you are welcome to do that. We just need to know that they're GRI designees because we're not smart enough to track our own people yet. Give us a minute. But yeah, if you let us know, then we'll by default give you a discount rate for those.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Why is the coupon only limited to 2 years?
It's not. It just says it.
Really?
Yeah. As long as they've never used it before.
I had no idea.
Yep.
We trust you, John.
Well, we tell them to use it so that way it creates a sense of urgency. But yeah. Yeah. No, as long as they haven't used it. Yeah. I'm not going to count 2 hours. That's a lot of work. No, it's only as long as they've never used it before. And we don't require you to monitor that. If we do, and we do upon occasion get some that decide to try and use it for all 3, if we do get that, we'll let you know. Hey, by the way, they tried to use this, or they've already used this before. So was that one an error, or are they really trying to use this? Like, what's going on? We'll get some information before we call them, but we will reach out and get the money from them if we have to. We're talking like maybe 5 times a year that happens.
Just as an extra promotion, what we do, we offer, they get to use your coupon for one class, but we offer 2 different $25 ones for their other classes too.
That's very good. Anybody talk about the alternate GRI today?
No.
Okay, so it's really not that important, but I'll tell you anyway. So one thing we do have out there, we fully recognize that there's some really remote places that even broadcast can't reach or won't. And so we have an option out there for people who have, it's an alternate GRI. They've been in business for a few years. They've accrued a few other designations, and we will count those other designation classes as part of the GRI program. So for instance, if they take the ABR designation and they also take the SRS designation, you combine those two together with the forces combined, that equates to GRI marketing. And we do that for a couple of others here and there and here and there. There's an application on our website, it's under GRI. Those are for the ones who are more experienced agents who have been around for a while. They've probably accrued some of those. The reason why we did that is because there are some people who don't have the ability to do anything except for online education. And this is, we're not going to have an online GRI, but this is the next best thing. Because they can take all those classes online, they can't take the GRI online, so that's a way that they could do that. We've had that alternate GRI out for about 3 or 4 years, and we have less than 20 people that have taken advantage of it. So we don't see it taking the place of the GRI by any stretch of the imagination. There's just a few people out there who have already had an amalgamation of classes that they're able to go ahead and finish it. So thank you very much. It is actually in your packet.
I
right
don't
here.
know that it is in the
I'm just joking. It's in this packet right here.
Sort, but there's, we do have it, it's, I can pass this around if you wanna just look at it.
Make a note and email it.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you wanna, it's just credits and stuff like that.
So
But yeah, it's on the website.
it's really simple. There's 12 days of the GRI, and there's 12 individual or classes that you would have to take of 8 hours each. Or if it's a 16-hour class, that counts as 2. That's basically it. So they're not getting out of the number of hours that they would have to sit. It's just what hours they're taking. That's really it. And so if they're really, alphabet soup designation hungry and they've already gone after it and have quite a few, that's a way that they can help get to the GRI because it's so comparable content. They will count that. A whopping 20-something people have done it for years. So
I think if more people knew, they might.
Right.
More people might do it.
Now, the other way.
Yeah.
The other days of the patients, know that it can count the opposite way.
yes.
I would feel like this would be an extenuating circumstance kind of use. So like, if you're in San Antonio, there's no reason that they don't come and take the GRI because there's opportunities there. But if they're in Delhi or somewhere very, very remote on the edge of the state or in a very rural area, I would say that, and they can't travel or they can't, those are extenuating circumstances where it would be an opportunity for them because they can do everything else online, but
Yeah.
not this.
And the reason why we share it with you is just in case somebody comes up to you and asks you questions, you at least know it exists. I don't expect to promote it. I mean, because I'd rather them go to the actual GRI in my opinion. In my opinion, it's better, but it is an option that is out there. Anything else? So we were kicking this idea around about, instead of talking about the next upcoming GRI class or marketing message of any kind, hey, come take this next class. What if we actually look at this idea of the value of it? Like, what is the value of the GRI bring to you as a member? And with that, we found there was a bit of a deficit of sorts. One, once they get it, what do they do? And yeah, I got it. That's awesome. And then they look at another designation as opposed to, being proud of just having a GRI in and of themselves. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. So how can we continue to promote it to our own members that the GRI is a good thing? And how we can continue to build like a cadre of people that can hopefully bolster the GRI and the value of it in the organization. A similar concept is like the leadership program, for instance. If you have people who are in the leadership program, I hope they're investing back in the leadership program. In that same construct, what if we have people who have the GRI that can push back into the GRI to promote the value of it to the members? In addition to that, I've never fully understood why we have designations or certifications, and then when you're done, you continue to pay for it, but you don't have education that's compliant with it. Like, I don't know about you, but when I took the THS 17 years ago, that doesn't mean that I know what I'm talking about now. And so, rather than taking something 25 years ago or 65 years ago for some people, you have to keep up with it. You have to keep up with the growing needs and trends of the industry, whatever that is and however that works. So it's good to hear that NAR is actually looking at an advanced GRI of sorts. I mean, because continuing education should be continued, not just the education part. And so I think that we look into ideas and ways that we can, one, further the education for the members. And that doesn't necessarily have to comply with CE, but we provide some kind of education to them because they're GRI. And because they're GRI, they get to do it, or they get to participate.
Right. Even
Qualification.
Webinars or something like that is topical as it relates to business.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even as you're updating curriculum, whatever you're putting in as updates, you're giving back to those who have taken it.
Yes. Well, and admittedly, that's part of the reason why we went back to ebooks too, is because with the ebooks, I can't tell you how many people come back 2 or 3 years later and say, hey, can I get a copy of the book? I'm like, well, with ebooks, you always have a copy of the most recent book. You can always get that. And so, but yes, our goal is to continue to give that information and education back out there to them. So I know, yeah, go ahead.
When somebody earns one of those NAR designations, it takes months before they get access to it, mind you. They do get access to the ADR resource page, the MRP, the PSA. They get a resource page where those updates are put on a regular basis. Something like that would be beneficial, showing that value you're talking about. The GRI page, that once they complete it, they have access to it.
That's good. A couple of things we kicked around in addition to that is either having webinars or even a GRI day that we can even have where we invite people and you have a general session that all GRI does means you're invited to attend. You have a GRI day that there's a general session in the morning that talks about the industry as a whole, and then in the afternoon they can break out into different groups. That's one option we thought about, because obviously with GRI going all over the place, we need to make sure that we're covering all the topics. So that was one option we thought about. Another one is encouraging supporting GRI societies. I know San Antonio has one. I think it's been a benefit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so creating a society even on the local level, helping you guys with generating that group. I think you guys, you use them for monitors or?
They volunteer as monitors. They meet once a month. They have CE that they do amongst their group. They get together to share updates. Yeah, they're free monitors for me. They step in all our classes and they come up.
So we thought about trying to help establish a GRI society network on the local and state level. We've thought about the webinars like you mentioned here.
So you said GRI Day, were you thinking of like it locally in each location, or were you thinking about making it something that we posted here in Austin and keep posted?
Either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Nope, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna talk about Cyril P.
No, go ahead. That's all right.
So if we were gonna have something like that, maybe we talked about creating some kind of task force, you want to about a task force for TRLP of our counterparts that all facilitate those, and look at hosting some sort of advanced alumni program. And so to see how something like that can coincide together, you know, but I was just wondering if there was anything.
No, we only have concepts for GRI. I wasn't part of the meeting for the TRP, but yeah, at this point we're just talking concept for GRI. We're trying to figure out what can we do to help support you guys, because you guys have done an amazing job of getting people in the class for the GRI, and we have people now earning the GRI. We have more now than we've ever had before, which is a wonderful thing. But what do we do with them? You know, we have a ready-made cadre. What can we do with
I
them?
think one of the really great things is not just value proposition of how it stands to be able to pass back to other people that are all members of the association, but how do you create messaging that from the standpoint of I'm a realtor and I have my GRI, what value does that bring to the clients that I serve, and help message that, and that message helps them define their value proposition based on the information they've got from the GRI program.
Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
so people will say, oh, you know, whenever you're a new agent, well, this person over here is able to say that they've done all this stuff to their client, so I can in effect say the same messaging. So creating kind of a message as it relates to what the consumer learns about you based on that. So that might be one value messaging that you want to look at.
Absolutely, it's a great idea. So the value proposition from the person who's earned the GRI to the potential client base.
Yeah, because if you
further
look
market
at new
themselves.
agents, they're always trying to come up with their unique, identifiable value proposition to the client, and we try to help them. What's your niche? Where did you start? Where did you come from? But if you can also say, well, I've got this amount of information and knowledge behind me, I've earned this designation, and what does that mean? Because they don't care about what the letters are, but they want to know what that means and relates to how you're going to better serve me.
Sure.
So creating that messaging.
I think that's great, yeah.
On the GRI day, I mean, from our
fact, we actually did it last year. And it was very well received. And we were kindly told, we don't have room, we can't do this anymore. And so, which makes sense. I mean,
It was over received.
It was over received. We're like, we don't have room to put this in that every year. And so, unfortunately, we can't continue that at conference specifically. Maybe we come up with something the day before, the day after, if that's the case. Or maybe we do something off-site that we can coordinate so that way it's not taking up meeting space. It's possible that there's options that could be out there. And if you guys think it's a good idea, then I think that's good too. And maybe if we do something like the GRI Day, where we might do it via broadcast, and we have like it's a full day program, but the half day you do at your local, and then the afternoon we do statewide, and we can do a broadcast experience that say all kinds of different things that are going on across the industry. If you can kind of keep it local for half of it, and then state for the other half. Any ideas? Any other ideas? These are all really good.
Anything to recognize them, it's grueling for them, and so it's definitely a letdown that they've got done and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Or what it means to them.
It's an easy sell though, because if you're marketing towards your new agents, you simply just have to tell them, it's just like the class you took to get your license, but they don't suck.
Well, it accomplishes your truck requirements,
Well,
but what
those pre-licensing classes, you all know, doesn't teach them anything about how to be successful in business. GRI actually does that. So.
Well, and it's after they're in it and they've started doing it, and so it's more relatable to them.
It
One's
is.
theory and one's practical.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's already easy to sell to the new members, because they just finished and they're still hungry and they weren't fed. So you give them anything that's going to be useful, tangible at all, and they're going to consume it. So.
And of course, I'm an outsider looking in, because on a state level we don't really, we see them, congratulate them, and we move on. And so we don't really have any connection with them afterwards. But my assumption is, if I were in that situation, I work hard, grueling, I get it, what now? Nothing, let's move on. And then it's now no longer forefront of their minds. It loses its value as time goes on, because it's an afterthought. Oh yeah, I got that. And in my opinion, the people who are the best promoters of the GRI are the ones who have done it, I would assume, because they've gone through the process and they can talk about the value. But if we don't keep it on the forefront of their mind of how good it was and how it's beneficial and related, helpful in their business, then it's easy for them to forget. And if they forget, then they don't tell. And if they don't tell, then it's on us to tell. And anyway, Jim.
Well, at our luncheon, with my first GRI class and my first GRI person that I've had, I made sure to announce it at our luncheon that she got her GRI, or was the latest GRI graduate, and told everybody about the program. But I don't know, maybe next time, have all of the GRIs stand up and give them be recognized and everything.
A pinning ceremony.
Yeah, we can do that.
Have John come down and
What? No. Like, who's that guy? Why is he giving me a pen? No. You guys can do it. Hey, I appreciate it. I don't mind getting volunteers for things, but no, I'm not doing it. Amy?
I have only been working in the realtor world for about 6 years now, and I think in general the public doesn't understand how much education is involved with having a real estate license. I don't think most people know that there has to be continuing education, that you have to get your license, recertified every 2 years. And part of me wonders if some of our education for our members should be helping them to remind their clients of the quality of education that they get by being realtors. That's part of the value proposition of hiring a realtor, is all of this good education. And because they think of it as, I have to do this for my license. I have to do this every 2 years. But it's not just about that. It's about, you have access to better education because you're a member of this organization, and you need to make sure that you're letting your clients know this. Is that something we need to incorporate more into our programs for things like designations and accreditations and stuff like that? Sorry, I'm just throwing that out there because you weren't saying anything. And
I said no, I'm not. I did say that.
There was a lull and I wanted to know something, so I just.
Most people don't even know what the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I think the best marketing they had for a realtor was a few years ago with Modern Family.
Yes.
That was the best, and I had more people. Well, now I know what a realtor is, you know, because they watched it on Modern Family, and you know, otherwise they don't know, they don't care. Most of the public don't care.
Yeah, and I just sometimes I wonder if our members are missing that push for what they know about the organization out to the public. I mean, we can, you know, publicize the realtor organization, but we need to remind them that this expertise that you get from this organization is what sets you apart. Theoretically. Anyway, I just, yeah.
No, I think it's a good point, especially when they take education, especially like the GRI, they're able to do something where they can differentiate themselves, saying, as one who has a GRI, this is a way that I can better serve you. Yeah, I think it's good.
It used to be like 40% if you had a designation, your salary were 40% higher than, or your income was 40% higher than what?
Yeah. I wish
But
I would do that survey again, because it's like 25 years old. Yeah.
that's what it used to be like.
But the
40
flyers
years
had
ago.
that content on it. I mean,
Yeah.
we handed out the GRI flyer too. I mean, it had
Yes.
factual information. I mean, there was still some use of that paper.
Yeah.
Because to get them to get into the program, and then they had to.
So even on the registrations themselves, we can have some factual information that's a benefit to them. We stopped using it because it got outdated. As time progresses, when somebody says, wow, that was from 10 years ago, that's long enough, we probably need to get new information. And so that doesn't mean it isn't out there, that just means we haven't found it yet. Or we
I always tell them to put it in their listing presentations, part of their education. That's what, like orientation, that's what I always tell them. Part of their tool that they use to listen to.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so please know that this is an open conversation that will hopefully continue as time progresses. If you guys have any ideas on ways that we can further promote the GRI to help bring value to it as time progresses, so when they're done, they keep going. Greater McAllen as a whole, how's the whole hand up?
One thing we did last year with the GRI is, I don't know if anyone else has done it before, is we shared our GRI flyer and the registration date, but we also did a blurb of how much GRIs can sell and the volume of their performance altogether compared to just not having a GRI. And we also had several GRI members on their own share that statistic to say, you know what, before I did my GRI, I was selling this much. And we actually had one member said that she was surprised at how much she knew she could sell with it. And the second year, she almost doubled her sales volume.
The testimonials that our members gave to us on video and written that we shared within our group, our closed group page on Facebook, on social media, to kind of boost enthusiasm towards the class.
I don't know if you remember, but the last year we did 50-some GRI signed up in October.
Wow.
And that was our biggest GRI ever.
Because Odessa has the oldest GRI, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the video from last year. And we had I can't remember his name, but I watched the video. I remember that.
Hey, that was very hard to get him to do that.
I bet it was.
Want you guys to know.
It seemed like it might have taken a take or two. So.
Like 25.
But it was super nice.
That was 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
That was It's very nice, though.
So the sort of is we fully recognize that there's a lot more we can do. And as I said before, our goal is to get out of the administration process so we can move into the value process to bring more to what you guys are doing to help benefit that process and what you do in your areas. And so as you go back and reflect upon it, please know this is not the end of the conversation, but the beginning. If you have any ideas, thoughts, comments, concerns, or anything regarding the GRI in particular, and how we can help bolster the value it brings to your members, not only now when they might be taking it, but also afterwards, we're all ears, and we want to help any way we can. So please let us know. Any other questions about GRI or new GRI initiatives? Awesome. We have stuff to give away. Can I borrow some real quick? Anybody? Anybody?
I'll help.
So, yeah, I'll take Amy. We'll do Amy. Either Amy. Alright, I have a $10 gift card to Starbucks. Let's see if you can get it.
I've already seen it up.
There you go. Maybe you can pass this one out. Actually, I know what these four are.
Okay. And Monica Pena.
Alright, Monica. We have another $10 gift card to Starbucks. Maybe close. Who is it?
Shannon Bendas.
Get my gift. Alright, we have another $10 Starbucks gift card.
Megan Sheehan.
Megan. Alright, we have yet another $10 Starbucks gift card.
Loretta Miller.
Alright. We have a $25 Visa gift card.
Miss Gina Jones.
And we have a $50 gift card to an assortment of restaurants. Team Chili's, Maggiano's, I can't remember all the others.
Under border.
That too, yeah.
Ooh, Clea Youngblood.
Oh, must be cousin Win.
Amber Kennedy.
Amber!